Welcome to the In History in Pixels channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Two hunters with an elk at the OK Hickok hunting camp in Oregon's Coast Range Mountains. The photograph shows the men displaying their game beside a makeshift camp amid the trees, a moment of plenty that would soon scatter like campfire ash. The Cherokee Strip land run in 1893. The image shows hundreds of people on horseback and in wagons racing to claim available land in the area, a fever of ownership that would leave some with everything, most with dust. Vermilion, South Dakota. After the Missouri River flood of 1881, local businesses and wooden structures were heavily damaged by the waters, inflicting significant losses on the community, the river reminding them that nothing built on a floodplain stays built for long. The horse wrangler seated beside his horse in Bonham, Texas in 1910. In the background, a large herd of horses grazes on the plains, highlighting the economic significance of horse breeding in the area, all of it soon to be replaced by steel and gasoline. A blacksmithing class at Forest Grove School in Oregon, photographed in 1882. Men and boys work in front of a wooden workshop, shaping tools and repairing equipment, skills that would be relics within a single generation. Interior of a Kansas saloon destroyed by Carrie Nation. Photographed in 1901, the venue served as a gathering place for leisure, offering drinks and entertainment. Then the axe came and the laughter stopped. Miners working underground in Virginia City, Nevada, photographed in 1867. They used pickaxes and lanterns to extract ore from rock in narrow dark tunnels. Men slowly hollowing out the earth, and the earth, eventually, forgetting them. Inside the Yellow Astor Saloon in Randsburg, California circa 1900. Men sit at tables playing cards while others gather around the bar, a room full of hands that would soon be empty. A cowboy saddling a wild horse in Montana around 1890. The image captures the cowboy's effort to tame the animal, a skill essential for cattle handling, a partnership of two creatures both being broken by the land. Government pack mules and their handlers photographed near the Mexican border in 1883. Men pose beside the animals, outfitted to carry supplies on long journeys, each mule's back a small archive of what was needed and what was left behind. A horseshoe curve on the Burlington and Missouri River Railroad near Custer City, South Dakota, photographed in 1891. A wooden car train winds through the mountainous terrain, standing out among the pine forest, iron threading through trees that would one day grow over the tracks. A Pueblo Nina hunter around 1890. Wearing traditional attire, he holds a rifle and displays the day's catch, a rabbit hanging from his hand, a way of life already disappearing behind the camera's lens. Music. A young Navajo warrior and his mother photographed in 1873. They stand before a rock formation with the youth holding a bow and arrows. The rock remains. The boy, the bow, the mother, Hunkpapa Lakota leader at Fort Buford in North Dakota, photographed in 1881. He was a significant figure in Native history, renowned for his leadership and wisdom. A portrait taken in defeat, though the eyes refused to say so. A man beside a furnace powering a steam pump that supplied water at McClung Ranch in Kern County, California, photographed in 1888. The equipment enabled water delivery for people and livestock in arid areas, facilitating farm growth. A machine that bought time, not permanence. A photograph by William Henry Jackson in Colorado around 1873. Jackson captured significant Western scenes, helping to document landscapes and pioneer communities. He froze moments so we could watch them fade. The first oil discovery in Mexican Hat, Utah, photographed in 1895. The oil exploration boosted the local economy, drawing workers and investors to the region. A black gusher that built a town, then watched it blow away. An Omaha dance at Fort Niobrara, Nebraska held in 1891. This event was part of the local community's cultural traditions and festivities, performed within sight of the fort that would help erase them. Men working on track maintenance in Salina, Kansas in 1867. They use a small hand car to travel along the railroad, vital for inspections and repairs, small figures on a large machine, soon to be replaced by larger machines. The International Hotel on C Street in Virginia City, Nevada, photographed between 1860 and 1870. The establishment provided lodging for travelers, miners, and merchants passing through the town during its economic boom, 1,000 temporary beds for 1,000 temporary lives. Union Pacific Railroad directors gathered 25 miles west of Omaha in the Nebraska Territory in October 1866. They oversaw construction crucial for economic growth and linking the eastern and western United States. Men in suits deciding where the future would run, then leaving the dying to the workers. Spotted Tail, a prominent Cheyenne chief photographed around 1869. Known for his leadership and diplomacy, he was a respected figure among his people, a face that negotiated with a government that kept no promises. A Kiowa Nation man poses on his horse wearing authentic period attire in 1891. He displays feathers, ornaments, and ceremonial garments that symbolize his people's pride and culture, beauty arranged for a future that would not honor it. Pack mule handlers walk down Deadwood's Main Street, looking southward in 1876. They are flanked by wooden buildings, including the Bighorn store, as they pursue fresh prospects in the area, prospectors chasing a rumor that would leave them broke or buried. Chinese laborers in Tuolumne County, California, pose with buckets suspended from wooden poles in 1866. They used this technique to haul sand and/or as they chased fortune during America's western expansion, a pose of dignity that history would later crop out. Chinese immigrants working at a mining operation in 1871. They used wooden sluice boxes to separate valuable minerals from gravel, a prevalent technique during the gold rush. Water, wood, and bone. The sluice boxes rotted, the bones stayed. A group of Mormon immigrants in a covered wagon caravan around 1879. The photograph depicts families traveling toward new lands, hauling their belongings in animal-drawn vehicles, a slow procession toward a Zion that would always feel borrowed. The King Surveys crew camp photographed between 1869 and 1878. The team gathers beside tents and gear in a mountainous region of the American West, men who mapped the land so others could take it. A typical Concord stagecoach used by express companies on western trails. Soldiers stand guard at the site in Hays, Kansas. Circa 1867 to 1869. Music: Frankie Webner, a Pony Express rider. Around 1861, the Pony Express mail service was tasked with delivering letters swiftly between Missouri and California. A young man on a fast horse, carrying words that arrived after the people had already changed. A surveying camp in Laramie County, Wyoming, photographed in 1870. Engineers and laborers used it to map the area and plan future railroad and road construction, drawing lines across grass that would not survive the drawing. The Wells Fargo and Company's delivery and stagecoach office in Cisco, California, circa 1868. The image shows multiple horse-drawn coaches ready to transport passengers and freight, wooden carriages that would end their days as firewood. A merchant store in Anadarko, Oklahoma Territory, photographed in 1901. Men stand before the wooden building that supplied essential goods to the local community, shelves once full, now dust. The depot at Granger, Texas, circa the 1890s. Men and women in period attire wait at the wooden station built for passengers and freight, waiting for a train that no longer runs. Flagstaff in the Arizona Territory circa 1899. The photograph shows stone houses and buildings with people walking along dirt streets. Stone endures, the footsteps do not. Central City, Colorado around 1864. Wooden houses and buildings spread across the hills, illustrating the city's rapid growth during the gold rush, a city that swelled like a bruise and faded like one too. Helena, Montana, photographed in 1874. The main street is bustling with wagons and horses as people gather along the sidewalks, a moment of noise before the quiet. Fr. Sever's Cash Store in the Choctaw Indian Territory photographed on May 9, 1875. The establishment served as a trading post for the local community, selling a variety of goods, a wooden counter where money changed hands, and so did futures. The port area in Juneau, Alaska, circa the 1890s. Wooden houses and waterfront warehouses served as hubs for commerce and maritime transport, cargo that arrived, cargo that left, and the town stuck between. Main Street in Deadwood, South Dakota, photographed in 1877, The busy street features shops, wagons, and people moving among the wooden buildings, all of it kindling waiting for a spark. Music. Jerome, Arizona around 1890. Hillside houses demonstrate how the town adapted to mountainous terrain. In the background, a large construction project underscores community growth during the mining boom, a town built on copper and held up by hope. Main Street at Valley Avenue in Baker City, Oregon, photographed in 1875. Shops such as the bakery and tobacconist displayed the variety of local commerce while residents gathered on the sidewalks, bread and smoke, then nothing. Panamint City, California, photographed in 1875. Simple wooden structures form the small community in the valley between arid mountains, a ghost town before it even finished being a town. Music. The full crew on the Sierra Nevada mountains for the Central Pacific Railroad, photographed in 1866. The railroad connected the West to the rest of the country, essential for moving people and goods, but not one of these men would own the rail they laid. The Buena Vista Ranch in Kern County, California between 1883 and 1888. The property grew multiple crops and raised livestock, contributing to the region's urban supply. A ranch that outlasted its ranchers, barely. A wooden steep-roofed house provided shelter for pioneer families in the region. This style of dwelling was crucial for shielding inhabitants from harsh weather conditions, a few planks between a family and oblivion. Music. A bearded man wearing a wide-brimmed hat proudly poses for the camera circa 1880 in Oregon, draping a large set of elk antlers over his shoulders. He rests a rifle barrel on the ground, emblematic of pioneer hunting life. The elk are gone, the man is gone, the pride remains in silver. The final massive ox-drawn wagon train en route from the railroad to the Black Hills was photographed in 1890. Consisting of dozens of wooden wagons pulled by oxen, the caravan carried vital supplies and goods to pioneer settlements, the last of its kind, rolling toward a history that would forget it. Successful hunters gathered in front of their camp in 1887. The photograph captures men smiling beside their hung game and rifles set on the ground, marking the fruits of an arduous hunting expedition, success measured in dead bodies, soon to rot. Successful hunters gathered in front of their camp in 1887. Such outings were common in the American West and essential for food provision and trade among pioneer communities. Common, essential, and utterly vanished. Captain Scott's hunting camp on the Umatilla Reservation, circa 1895. The image shows canvas tents pitched riverside, hunting gear neatly arranged, and a communal spirit of labor, a camp that felt permanent, though the river would take it. A log cabin in South Dakota built between 1887 and 1892. Its timber walls and sod roof showcase the straightforward methods pioneers employed to withstand severe weather, a cabin that held out longer than the family inside. Music. An 1850s prairie schooner photographed around 1894. This wooden wagon with large wheels was used to haul goods and travelers on lengthy journeys across America's plains, a museum piece before it was done traveling. Music. Men with cattle on a ranch in Sierra Madre around 1900. The photograph shows animals grazing within a fenced pasture set against a mountainous backdrop, a moment of pasture peace before the slaughterhouse. A group gathered before a native tent, circa 1888. The photograph features men and women in traditional dress, some holding blankets while others sit astride horses, a gathering that would scatter and never gather again like this. Music. Farm laborers in Irvine, California, photographed in 1891. Men wearing hats and carrying farming tools stand amid the harvest with equipment and wagons visible behind them, names forgotten, backs remembered only by the land. Horses and cattle beside a river at Big Dry in northern Montana around 1886. The scene shows animals grazing near a watercourse with hills and vegetation in the background, water that still flows, animals that do not. The Lion Desert Well, where water was sold between 1890 and 1900. The photograph depicts a simple wooden structure used to draw water from an artesian well, selling what falls free from the sky. A group of Piegan Native Americans at their camp around 1893. Men, women, and children stand beside a large hide tent typical of indigenous dwellings, a tent that housed generations, now housed in a photograph. An English-style kitchen in Round Pond, Oklahoma, photographed in 1894. The image shows a simple structure with cooking utensils and people gathered around a table, a kitchen where meals were made, and after which, nothing remains but the image. The Kua Ranch in Graham County. The photograph shows wooden houses and pasture land typical of the era where livestock were raised and crops were cultivated, a ranch that became a ruin that became a story. A nearly centenarian Cheyenne woman photographed in 1888. She wears traditional tribal clothing and displays the serene expression of someone who has lived through many stories. She outlived almost everyone she loved. Broadway Street in Oklahoma Territory photographed in January 1894. Simple wooden buildings line the main road, typical of pioneer towns. A main street that would burn, then be paved over. The Round Valley Agency's office and general store in California, photographed in 1876. The simple wooden buildings served administrative functions and sold supplies, a place where people came to be counted, then disappeared from the count. The Ledig log cabin, the first built in California's Yosemite Valley around 1895. This shelter marked the start of permanent settlement in the valley, housing pioneers and explorers, the first of many, all temporary. A cattle roundup camp scene photographed between 1887 and 1892. Men rest around wagons and campfires, preparing meals and organizing supplies. A camp that felt like home, though home was 1,000 miles away. Music. Judge R.N. Stevens reading the Declaration of Independence to an audience during the July 4th celebration in Nome, Alaska, photographed in 1901. The event brought the community together to commemorate United States independence, strengthening local social bonds, celebrating a nation while standing on ground that had never agreed to join it.